Hey there guys, it's Charlotte. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a hot minute. It's been over a year since I last posted a video, and honestly I was considering maybe not posting videos anymore, though I really enjoyed it. But that's because I had to review a bit the content I was posting and what I wanted to post because it just wasn't working the way I wanted it to. So without further ado, let's get into the books I read in December, and maybe I'll talk a bit more about the rest at the end of the video. So let's get to it. Alright, so the first book I read was actually a little collection of comics, and it's called Little Moments of Love by Katana Comics. I discovered Katana Comics through her Instagram. She makes very, very cute, relatable comics about her and her partner, and she published a book which I really liked. It was gifted to me, and although in the past I'd read little snippets here and there, I hadn't read the full collection, so that's what I did in December, and it's so cute and relatable and I enjoyed it. Plus, because it was a bit more of a comic in December when you're trying to reach that Goodreads goal, it's a good one to sneak in as well. Alright, the next book I read is one that I absolutely loved. This book is the final book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series by Carrie Maniscalco, Capturing the Devil. I absolutely adored this series. I read the entire series except the first book in this year, and this was a brilliant way to wrap it up. I loved it. It's a historical fiction with suspense, murder mystery suspense, a bit of romance. I love the characters Audrey Rose and Thomas Cresswell. They're so good together, and I really, really enjoyed the series. I kind of wish the series wouldn't end, but at the same time, maybe it will drag out the series and it would become bad, so maybe it's a good thing it ends, because it was so good, and I may consider rereading it in the coming years. Maybe not this year. Well, maybe, who knows. But definitely a series I really enjoyed. It's very atmospherical, and I just enjoyed it so much. The next book I picked up was Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. This is a Mulan retelling, but what is important to know is that the character is not called Mulan, and instead of going to replace her father to go to war, the main character replaces her father, no, pretends to be his son in order to participate in a sort of tournament to be the emperor's next tailor. Of course, she has to disguise herself as a man to do so, and that's punishable by death if she is found out. She has to compete against 24 other tailors from around the realm, and they have to make garments to please the future wife and future empress, with garments that are almost impossible to make. And she is sent on one last task, and it involves a lot of magic, some really cool characters. So this is a book that's retelling, adventure, magic, and a little bit of romance, of course, and it's a great, great story. So if you're into retellings and maybe even sewing and all that, definitely worth checking out, because I very much enjoyed it. It's the first book in a duology. I believe the second one comes out in July, so if you're looking for a fun new series that's not too long to dive into and not too big of a commitment, this could be the next read you just get into. The last book I picked up this month, past month, was Bygone Badass Broads by Mackenzie Lee. This is a book that contains stories of 52 forgotten women who changed the world. These women have done everything from being warriors to being the first authors to inventing things to... there's so much I don't even remember, but these women have done extraordinary things for their people, for the world, and some of them you might have heard of, but not the full story, or some you haven't even heard of and you're like, whoa, that was pretty amazing. The only thing I would say about this book is the writing style. It's very much, I think, geared towards teenagers of the current teenagers. So maybe it's a great way to get the stories out to them, but I don't know how timeless this book will end up being in the sense of the writing style. Now the content, fantastic. I think more people should read about them, especially that these are not full novels about all these women. It's really a short book that contains a lot of information. So highly recommended. Just beware, even if it's not your writing style, maybe it's worth pushing through just to find out about these fantastic women. Alright, so that concludes my December 2019 wrap-up. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know which books you really enjoyed this past month and that you highly recommend that I read. Now, last bit of the video, I said I would talk a bit more about the content of my videos, what happened. So in the past year or so, I was thinking, I should relaunch my channel. Maybe I should stop. Maybe, you know, and I just wasn't sure, but recently I really thought, you know, I want to share about the books I've read, recommend some books, and I realized the last videos I was making were mostly book hauls, unboxings, which can be fun, but it was only that, and it was becoming a bit of easy content and not so interesting for me, and probably not for you guys either, because that's just showing off the books I buy. And I think this channel could be much richer, the content is much richer if I share the books I've actually read, recommend books, you know, and that's kind of what I want the channel to be more of, which it was in the past, and then I kind of went the easy way. So hey, so I'm hoping to make a lot more content. Actually, on my blog, I mentioned some of the goals for this year, and one of them is to post at least one video a month. It doesn't sound like a lot, but honestly, life can get very busy. So if I can already do that, it's much better than last year, where I posted zero videos. And I probably will post more than that. It's just, at least I know I set an attainable goal that I will be able to reach, because if I say one a week, maybe it'll work in the beginning, but then I'll get overwhelmed and I won't reach it and I'll give up. And that's not the point. So if I can do 1 or 2 videos a month, I think it's already a big step up. So let's see how that works. Alright, so that's it for my video. Thank you for sticking around, and I will see you again very, very soon with a new one. Have a nice day. Bye.